بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولتجدنهم أحرص الناس على حياة ومن الذين أشركوا يود أحدهم لو يعمر 1000 سنة وما هو بمزحزحه من العذاب أن يعمر والله بصير بما يعملون صدق الله العظيم. Regarding ayat number 96 of Surat al-Baqarah, we've gone over the discussion of this dunya, the life of this dunya, the life of this world. One thing that should be made clear is that everything that we have said, it is related to those people who have made this dunya, who have made this world the maqsad of their life, the purpose of their life. They believe that this dunya is everything. They believe that this world is everything. And their slogan is that this life is life, and after that there will be nothing. And to them they claim that this is the only chance we have, or this is the only life that we have. We only get it once. So we must enjoy it. As for us believers, as mu'mineen and Muslims, we understand that this dunya, this world, it is just a means. It is nothing more than a means or a mata' to the akhirah. It is just a means to get through towards the akhirah. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses us with the material things of this dunya, of this world, then there is nothing wrong with the material things of this dunya. They're just materials. What you do with them, how you utilize them, how you use them, also how much importance you give to them, these are determining factors of success and failure in the akhirah. Just to give you an example, this world, this dunya, it is like the education system that we have. At least I'm speaking in the United States of America. Other countries I don't know. But here, our education system, it has 5 major stages. You have the elementary, when the child goes to school from the beginning all the way up until 5th grade. The child is in the elementary school. Then you get to the middle school. That's the 2nd stage. Then after the middle school, you get to the high school. After that, you get your first degree, your high school diploma, the 3rd stage. Then you have a 4th stage, the college level or the college life. It's a whole different life. It's something very, very different. Because up until high school, you are pretty much shackled. You don't have any freedoms, but when you get to the college life, you have options. You don't even have to go if you don't want to. But it is better to go. So you get the further education, the higher education up until your bachelor degree, and then you have the 5th stage after that if you want to continue your education, your doctorate degrees, your master's and doctorate degrees, you further on. So these are the kind of stages of education. Wise people, what they understand is that this is just a means towards a better life. This education system, it is not our whole life. At least we should not make it our whole life. Intelligent people understand that this is just a means to getting a better life. Getting a better degree, using that degree to get a better job, to get a better position. We may be able to have many amenities of life, be able to have a certain level of respect and so on and so forth. The various benefits that are associated with higher education. A foolish person, they may take this to be their life. And to them they'll say, you know what, the elementary school is the easiest. I'm going to live here for 1,000 years, I want to spend my whole life here. He doesn't understand that this is just a means towards the rest. It is just a stepping stone, you have to move on. But the person thinks, okay, you know what, this is easy. I can do this. It's comfortable. The teachers are nice. Exams are easy. I get a good time to, even have rest if I need to. And I can really enjoy. I want to stay here for the rest of my life. What do we think of this person? He wants to stay in 3rd grade or 5th grade for the rest of his life. They say, you're very, very foolish. You say, I passed these exams, but I don't want to move on. You say, this person, you haven't really understood the purpose of education. It's not to take what is easy, but that you use this as a stepping stone for the rest of your life. To move on further in education, to move on in life. And this is just an example. If you look into our own lives, this dunya is just like this. Of all the various stages that we have in our life, but what is very, very clear is that this dunya, it is just a means towards a better eternal life. Only people who wish for this dunya, who wish for this world, they want to stay here forever. Because they don't realize that there is something better than this. There is something higher than this. We have a higher purpose or a higher calling. So as believers, we're told that yes, live in this dunya, live in this world. This is like the primary school or the elementary school. These are grades you have to go through. There are many things you have to go through in life, various stages you have to go through in life. You also will be tested in various ways. Your akhlaq will be tested, your character will be tested. Your ibadat, your worship will be tested. Every single aspect of your life will be tested. Then you'll have one final test. And after that you have to move on. But this will also be a determining factor for the rest of your life, as these grades will affect the next grades and so on and so forth. We're taught various types of disciplines. Similarly, this dunya, it is just this one passing stage that we're going through. There are many, many stages to come. We have the stage of the grave, the qabr. After that we have the hashr. And then we have our final destinations. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us Jannah as our final destination. So we understand that there are many, many stages. That's why the kuffar, they only see this stage. They only think this is it. And if I have this, I don't need anymore, I don't want anymore. So they make this the maqsad of their life, they make this the purpose of their life. Intelligent people just use this primary stage. Yes, they work very hard, they try their best, they get the highest scores, they perform the best. But they understand that this is not the purpose of my life. And this should be the condition of every believer. You should not think that, okay, you know what, we're not created for this dunya, so I'm not going to do anything. This is not how a Muslim should act. Rather, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he showed us that yes, in this dunya, in this world, you have to not just do good, you have to do the best. You go check the akhlaq of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, what kind of character he had. What kind of character he taught the Sahaba radiyallahu anhum. Go read the ahadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. What we are actually taught in the deen of Islam. We're taught not just to be good, but to be the best. We have to be examples. We're to be role models in this dunya, in this world. So not only to perform just good, but to be the best. We should not become lazy and think, you know what, this dunya we're not made for this dunya. On a lighter note, there's a kind of story, a fable about a man who he used to be a woodcutter. He used to cut the wood and he would sell that. So one day he was walking in the forest to cut his wood and he saw a paralyzed fox. This is just to give us the example that as believers how we should work in this dunya. So he saw this paralyzed fox, so he thought to himself, you know, fox is paralyzed, how is it going to eat? What is it going to eat? He sat there for a moment just sitting there watching the fox, and after some time there was a tiger that brought a deer and it came near the fox. And the tiger ate whatever it could from the deer and it left. So this paralyzed fox just kind of crawled over to whatever was left of the deer and started eating. So this man had a brilliant idea. He said, you know, If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can feed this paralyzed fox and this fox is doing nothing. Me, I'm here cutting wood every day from break of dawn to sunset and then carrying this heavy wood and all this hard work. And then I'm getting some food to eat. Now what is this, Said if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can feed this fox, He can also feed me. Put his axe down and he went to the masjid and he gave up the dunya, did whatever idea of monk or whatever you could think of. Started doing dhikr and dua, and long time he was sitting there. So one day passed, 2 days passed with no food, nothing. People were looking at this person and everything's okay, So after 2 days he said, oh Allah, you gave a paralyzed fox to eat, and I'm sitting here for 2 days making your dua and doing dhikr and all these good deeds. Well, you can't feed me. So he got tired and he fell asleep, and in his dream he was told, oh foolish man, don't be the paralyzed fox that you have to depend on others. Be the tiger that others benefit from you, The tiger, it worked, it brought this, it hunted this deer, it brought the deer, it ate whatever it needed and brought it close to this fox, realizing this fox also needs help. I have given this tiger very, very unique qualities, and I've given you even better qualities. So you're thinking to be the fox, why aren't you the tiger? Think of the tiger, the example of the tiger. That you should work and not just work good, work so much and work in such a beautiful way that others benefit from you. So this should be the example of a believer. We should think how we can benefit others. Don't be thinking of only ourselves. To make this the maqsad of your life. To please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with not just what is good, but you try your best. Then the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also, it doesn't have any limits. How much Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will then give us. But for those who don't have any hope of the akhirah, those who don't even believe in the akhirah, so they want to live in this dunya forever, in this world forever. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, وَلَتَجِدَنَّهُمْ أَحْرَسَ النَّاسِ عَلَى حَيَاةٍ. And you'll find them, the Bani Israel, they're the most greedy for life, to live in this world. وَمِنَ الَّذِينَ أَشْرَكُوا, even more than those who are mushrikeen, who do shirk and associate partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. يَوَدُّ أَحَدُهُمْ لَوْ يُعَمَّرُ أَلْفَ سَنَةٍ. Each one of them has this desire, has this wish, that they can live 1,000 years in this world. They want to live forever in this dunya. But this dunya is just a means, it's just a passing phenomenon. Just like I gave you the example of the education system. You don't think to stay there forever. You understand that you're just here for some time. You do your best and you move on. This is what this dunya, this is what this world is for. Each one of them wishes that they could live here for 1,000 years. وَمَا هُوَ بِمُزَحْزِحِهِ مِنَ الْعَذَابِ أَنْ يُعَمَّرْ. And even if they were given such a long life, it will not diminish from them their punishment in any way. All of the pleasures of this dunya, all of the pleasures of this world, even for the pain of this world, what is it? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us and save us. Sometimes one toothache and all the pleasures of the world everything is gone. You can't enjoy nothing. You can't even enjoy your best. Somebody puts your favorite food in front of you. You can't eat it. You're hungry. It's not that you're not hungry, but you can't enjoy it. Sometimes one headache. It can be physical or metaphorical. But one headache, subhanallah. All the pleasure and the taste of the dunya is gone. This is the reality of this world. The pain of this one small pain. What will happen if we go to the qabr and we have not pleased Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? This is why we're also told to seek the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the adhab of qabr, from the punishments of the grave. It's not a light matter. We're told in the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, there's a very, very lengthy hadith about the qabr, the grave. That every day this grave, this qabr, it makes an announcement. Yabna Adam, O son of Adam, O mankind, that a time is coming you have to meet me. And I'm going to embrace you. The term that's used. And then the grave starts describing himself in this hadith. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, this grave, it makes this announcement every day. Ana baytul ghurba. I am the house of loneliness, some strangeness. You will not have anyone with you there. Ana baytul dud. I am the house of the insects. Ana baytul wahda. I am the house of loneliness. The grave, it's a strange place, you don't know. You can have all of the biggest castles of this world. When you're put in the grave, you're going to have the same size grave as everyone else. It's not that, oh, if mashallah you have the castle, then your grave is also going to be like a castle. No, the same space. This is what we have. All of the treasures of the dunya, whatever you can have. You go to the grave, you can take nothing with you. You'll be in a very, very strange world. It was reported about Alexander the Great, that when he was dying, they called him the Great because he had conquered most of the world, and he had so much wealth, so much power he had. So he called his ministers and he told them that, my time has come. I know I'm dying, and I want all of you to take this, this will of mine. And when I pass away, what you should do is when you carry my body in the coffin, stick my hands out and make sure they're open like this. Make sure everybody sees my empty hands. And he said, I want one announcer to announce behind me, to have this announcement behind me. And, have people carrying wealth, trays of gold and silver and diamonds, have them walking behind my procession. But make sure that this person, he's making an announcement. And the announcement that he should make is that this was Alexander the Great, that he conquered the world. But everything that he has conquered today, he's going into his grave with empty hands. He doesn't have even his own kingdom he can't take with him. And he said, I want to announce that this is all the treasures that I have made. Or this is all the treasures that Alexander has amassed over the years. But today he can't even take one gold dime with him. The golden, whatever they call. He said he can't even take this with him. Or one diamond with him. Can't take nothing. It doesn't even benefit him. And then also make the announcement that he has all these people that are his bodyguards and his family and his supporters and friends. He can't take anything with him. Everything is gone. He has left this world, and he has left the world for someone else. And this is the reality of this dunya, the grave. It says, it makes this announcement every single day. Oh, son of Adam, I am the house of strange. You'll find me very strange. Ghurba, a ghareeb person, stranger. You'll find me to be a very, very strange place. I'm the house of insects. I'm the house of wahda, of loneliness. You'll have no one with you. You'll be left there, all alone. Just think about this. Then the grave says that, oh, son of Adam, prepare yourself for me. Because no one has ever escaped me. No creation has ever escaped me. The Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he told us that when a righteous person is carried to the grave, when the righteous person passes away and his procession is coming to the grave, so the grave starts talking to him. That, oh, such and such person, it addresses him by name. Of all the people that walked on me, I loved you. You were a righteous person. You loved Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so I, as being a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I also loved you. And this is the kind of, whoever has the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then everyone loves them. Yeah, deep down inside, yes, they may have enemies, this and that, but deep down inside, there's a kind of reverence for that person. So this dunya, if nothing else, the rest of the creation, it loves this person. The earth, it says, of all the people that walked on me, you were a righteous person and I loved you. You left space in your heart for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So today you'll see how much space you'll find in me. Now you'll see my hospitality. It says when the people put him in the grave is filled, and the people leave, they walk away. His family members and everyone leaves. Then the grave starts to open. And it says that it opens as far as far as his eye can see. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows him one scene that the malaika, they come to him and they tell him that had you not been a righteous person, and had you disbelieved in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so this may have been a place you would have been in Jahannam. This gives him one scene. And then it closes that and says you'll never have to see this again. And then a door of Jannah is opened. And this person starts to enjoy in the grave the beautiful sense of Jannah, the comfort, the beauty, all the various na'amat starts to come into that grave. And it's so beautiful, this person is enjoying so much, so absorbed in that all the time passes and now he has to get out of his grave. So he starts to ask, how long did I stay? Sometimes we're so absorbed, so much khushu and khudu, and sometimes we're so involved, ya subhanallah, with this internet and the social media. And some people, they have their youth, many of them are, at least I should say youth, many of them are into video games. I hope the adults are not. It's unfortunate, this addiction has gone everywhere. The video games and the films and whatever else is out there. But some people, sometimes you get so absorbed, you lose track of time. It's so much khushu we have, so much devotion we are so into it, time is gone. Similarly, when a person in his grave will be looking at Jannah, the time will pass. He'll be in his grave for hundreds, if not thousands of years. But to him it will pass like few moments, hardly few moments. When he'll come out of his grave, the malaika he'll ask the malaika, how long was I in my grave? How long? This time passed pretty quick. They'll tell him, how long do you think you spent? Is it yawman aw ba'da yawm? Is that a day or part of a day? They'll tell them, you were in your grave for thousands of years. What do you mean a day or part of a day? But they'll enjoy so much. This time will pass very quickly. This is for a righteous person. It says for a person who is wicked, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, for the wicked person, when his body is coming to the grave, so the grave also makes an announcement that, oh so and so, addressing him by name, of all the people that walked on me, you were one of the worst. You disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You did not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You did not leave any space in your heart for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the deen of Allah. You are heedless, you are ghafil. So now today you will see my treatment of you. You will not find any space in me for you. I also hated you. When they place him in the grave, this is when the family and everyone leave. Then the grave, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam told us, the grave crushes this person. And so much crushing, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that the ribs of one side, they go through the ribs of the other side like this, and he interlocked his fingers, showing to the Sahaba that there's no space left in the grave for this person. He said this person is shown that had you been a righteous person, so you would have had this. They give him, a scene of Jannah. That had you been a righteous person, you would have been here, but you are not a righteous person. So now, this will be your punishment for eternity. And the grave, it turns into a pit from the pits of Jahannam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save all of us. And this person is burned. This is the adhab, it starts from the qabr. It starts actually when the ruh is leaving the body. That time a person knows. That is why Sayyidina Uthman radiyallahu anhu, he used to weep so much whenever he would pass by a graveyard. Whenever he used to pass by the graveyard, he used to weep so much, his beard used to be full of tears. It was all wet. So someone once commented that, every time you pass by the graveyard, you weep so much that your beard is full of tears. You don't even weep that much when you hear about Jannah and Jahannam. Why you weep so much when you pass by the grave? So Sayyidina Uthman radiyallahu anhu, he says, this grave, this is the first stage of the stages of the akhirah. This is the first stage of the stages of the akhirah. And if a person is successful here, so for eternity he's successful. But if a person doesn't make it here, then he's doomed. He knows he's doomed for eternity. He said, I heard Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam saying that the grave is either a garden from the gardens of Jannah, or it is a pit from the pits of Jahannam. And that is all determined by what we want. Whatever choice we make, we can choose to be righteous, we can choose to live this time. What is this time in this dunya? It's hard. We say people get lucky when they become 70, 80, 90 years old. And they're lucky. Go ask the people who are old how lucky they are. The body starts hurting. Person becomes old, he cannot do many things. They're left to themselves. Children are grown, everyone leaves them. We say how lucky the person is, he's so old. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam told us in a hadith, very beautifully, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ أَسْلَمَ وَرُزِقَ كَفَافًا وَقَدْنَعَهُ اللَّهُ بِمَا آتَاهُ. Sometimes we think success is how old a person will be. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, listen, successful is the one who has accepted Islam. They fulfill all of the ahkam of the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَرُزِقَ كَفَافًا. He has sufficient sustenance for his life in this dunya. وَقَنَّعَهُ اللَّهُ بِمَا آتَاهُ. And he's content with whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him. He's not looking for more than that. Simple life. This is actually one of the secrets to life. Just have qana'ah, have contentment. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, in one of the ahadith, he told the Sahaba radiallahu anhum that who will take from me 5 words of advice and will practice them, or will teach them to someone who will practice them. He told, so Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, he said, I'm ready to take this amana, this trust. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam very, very beautifully told him, and this is actually kind of very beautiful advice for us also, in a very, very beautiful manner. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he told Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, ittaqil maharim, takun a'bad al-nas. Sometimes we have our own ideas of what a pious person is, or what a righteous person is. Someone who may be doing so many good deeds and praying salah with. There are some people, mashallah, when they pray, you get surprised, mashallah, how much khushu they must have. They're so into their salah. We don't know the reality, at least what's in their heart. But on the apparent level, they look like they're so into their salah. There was a man, he was praying salah, so there was a few brothers on the side. They started commenting, mashallah, is so much khushu. Look how beautiful his ruku is and how straight his back. And the person in his salah, he turned around and he said, I've done hajj also. So, we don't know. We don't know the heart of, so we don't know what they're really, but anyhow, sometimes what our ideas of what righteousness might be, how to be the best worshipper. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam gave us the most beautiful formula. Ittaqil maharim, takun a'bad al-nas. Simple formula. Stay away from everything that is haram. Protect yourself from haram. Takun a'bad al-nas. You'll be the most righteous person. You want to be the most righteous person? Simple. Stay away from every kind of sin. Protect yourself. Everything that is haram, try. Yes, we know we are human beings. Other than the Anbiya alayhimus salam, the prophets and messengers, they were sinless. Every other human being were going to commit sins. Make a genuine effort to stay away from haram. Stay away from haram food. Stay away from haram interactions. Stay away from every kind of sin. Anything that is haram, make a genuine effort to stay away from it. You'll be the most righteous person in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't even have to do too many good deeds. Whatever is haram, stay away from it. Ittaqil maharim. Takun a'bad al-nas. The second advice of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, very beautiful advice. Warda bima qasam Allahu lak, takun aghna al-nas. Today we think how to be a rich person or how to be wealthy. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam gave such beautiful advice. He said, Warda bima qasam Allahu lak. And be content, be happy, be satisfied with whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is destined for you. Takun aghna al-nas, you'll be the richest human being. If you don't have your eyes out for, if your eyes are not greedy for what other people have, then really genuinely you'll be a rich person. You'll be able to sleep with content. Find that contentment. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has told us in another hadith, لَيْسَ الْغِنَىٰ عَنْ كَثْرَةِ الْأَرْضِ وَلَكِنَّ الْغِنَىٰ غِنَى النَّفْسِ. That having or accumulating the material things of this dunya, having so much of this dunya, of this world, it doesn't make you a wealthy person. It doesn't make you rich. But how do you become wealthy or how do you become rich? Just have a contentment, the contentment of the heart. وَلَكِنَّ الْغِنَىٰ غِنَى النَّفْسِ. Just have that contentment. At night time you're able to sleep and say, Alhamdulillah. How much we have. Really, we really think. Compare yourself to those who don't have what you have. Then you'll see how much you have. You'll be surprised. Just compare. If nothing else, compare yourself to people who don't have the favors that you're enjoying. Just take the favor of eyesight. Go ask a blind person, he'll tell you the value of eyesight. Go ask a deaf person. In sign language, he'll explain to you the value of hearing. Go to the mental ward. Sometimes it's good to see those kind of people. Go there. You'll see what a blessing just having aql and intellect, common sense, being safe from that kind of, subhanAllah, it's just a blessing. They can't even take care of themselves. They don't even know how to use the restroom. In such a state of mind. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us, some of them. Go see the people who are suffering from various kinds of illnesses. You'll be surprised what favors Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed on us. Go see how expensive one procedure is. You'll see how valuable your body is. Subhanallah. We don't value what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. Be content with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. You'll be the richest human being. What a beautiful advice. And if you live your life with this very, very simple formula, you will never be depressed or stressed. You won't have the kind of stress. There are certain things, there are sicknesses that people have from depression and other things. I'm not going to go into those details. But often the time, these come because you are looking at what people have, what you're wishing for. Go look at the people that don't have what you've been blessed with. The kind of skills Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, the kind of life, health. You don't know how valuable health is. Go see the paralyzed people who cannot move. How much we're able to enjoy our hands, how much we're able to enjoy our feet. One favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then you take all of these favors, the greatest favor being hidayah and guidance. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made us Muslim. What greater favor? وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. You try to count the favors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you'll never be able to number them. And what is there that we could want that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not given us? We're told in the Quran, وَآتَاكُم مِّن كُلِّ مَا سَأَلْتُمُوهُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I have given you of everything that you could ever ask for. Free air to breathe. Go ask the people who have asthma what value, what just breathing, kind of value it has. You'd be surprised. What just this breathing. It's not one favor. It's actually two favors. You breathe in, that's one favor. You breathe out, that's a second favor. You ever try to hold your breath? You know how much it burns? People who have asthma, they have to take a spray, they have to take medication just to get rid of that burning. They can't breathe. If they don't take that medication, they can almost die. And how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us, how many breaths we take in one day. Allahu Akbar. How many cold glasses of water we drink, how many morsels of food. You ever sit there to count our morsels of food? People complaining, why I have to pray 5 times a day. Brother, how many morsels of food do you eat every day? You know what value, how much nutrition this food gives you? How ungrateful people we are. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after He tells us this, وَآتَاكُم مِّن كُلِّ مَا سَأَلْتُمْ, and I've given you everything you could ever ask for. وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. If you try to number the favors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you'll never be able to number them. You'll never be able to count them. But the reality is, إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَظَلُومٌ كَفَّارٌ. This human being, he's zaloom and he's kaffar. Arabic is so deep. Zaloom is someone who's consistently oppressing himself. Fa'ul sigha, over and over doing something. We don't oppress ourselves one time. How many times we hurt ourselves? How much we damage our own health. Even we know that what I'm doing is wrong. You ask the person who's smoking, you tell him, do you know how harmful smoking is? He will give you a tafseer of smoking, how dangerous it is, and you'll still be smoking. Not that they don't know. They will tell you, we know what dangers soft drinks have. Coke and Sprite and these things. Yet we care. How much we damage ourselves. Each and every one of us, we know we have to do exercise. We have to do exercise. But even then, how much exercise we really do? Even the people who do exercise, how much exercise they do? Somebody sent me a beautiful post. They had an escalator going to the gym, You're going to the gym to work out, you have to use an escalator to go up this one. What value of this working out? Modern day exercise, you can't even go up the stairs. You have to use an escalator to get up there. Subhanallah. But how ungrateful. So we consistently oppress ourselves. Kaffar, we're so ungrateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us and give us understanding. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give all of us the tawfiq to practice His deen. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen. وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم نور قلوبنا بالقرآن وزين أخلاقنا بالقرآن ونجنا من النار بالقرآن وادخلنا في الجنة بالقرآن. اللهم اجعل القرآن لنا في الدنيا قرينا وفي القبر مونسا وعلى الصراط نورا وفي الجنة رفيقا ومن النار سترا وحجابا ومن النار سترا وحجابا ومن النار سترا وحجابا ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.